everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life, and I'm here to do Inspired By, and this month we are being inspired by nature, because who isn't inspired by nature? I'm just going to turn this silly volume down here on my computer. So I'm taking this one of three ways. I have this adorable photo of my son and a goat that I've been trying to scrap forever, and I still just haven't. So nature as in that aspect, there's leaves and happiness and all of that. This one, which is snow and a bright red jacket, and he's out in nature because he's out in the snow. Or, which is probably what I'm more going to do because it's summer, I have this beautiful photo of my neighborhood, and I'm thinking about scrapbooking this, possibly with this photo as well, and a summer type nature photo. The other thing that I'm being inspired by is these beautiful trees that are in the Little by Little collection by Chamel. She also has like feathers and stuff, but I'm really drawn to these trees and they really make me think of nature. So I think that I am going to pull in this to go with that, and let's see what I can create for this month's Inspired By. So let's get started with my nature layout. I am going to pull from my July stash kit that I created and just play and see what I can come up with. I had that piece of Maggie Holmes paper, and I was also thinking right away about this beautiful piece that is from the Hazelwood One Canoe 2, or One Canoe 2 Hazelwood collection. That's what it is. And I was thinking together they would form a really pretty background. So I'm going to use both of these and just layer them on top of each other. And I do keep the border strip in this because it's so pretty that I want to keep that as a bottom kind of like a shelf for everything to kind of be at, and where I can maybe put my title. I'm gonna cut my photos. I wasn't really sure if I was for sure gonna use both photos or just one, but once I laid them both down, I realized I could probably get both of them and be able to tell a full story rather than just doing one, because I wanted to be able to scrap the other one too, and so this helps me only have to do one layout versus two, and I'm a big fan of that. They are different tones to them. One of them, when I was editing it, it had more of a cool tone to it versus the one that is actually of us out in the sunshine has a warmer tone. I can notice that it bothers me a little bit because obviously I'm mentioning it to you, but it wasn't enough to make me not create my layout. So it's one of those things that just be cautious when if that's something that would bother you, just be cautious when you're printing. If it's you're noticing there are two different tones to them, just go into any type of editing software that you have. I can do mine in PicTap Go, and I can cool down my images there. I highly recommend you do that if that's something you're into. And now I'm just going to kind of play. I did some stitching, as you can see there, and I'm just going to rip off. I want to be able to save as much of this Maggie Holmes paper as possible because it's just so beautiful, and I really love the way this looks. I'm going to place that doily that had been sprayed with a shimmers, a purpley shimmers a long time ago, and when I laid it against that beautiful teal, I thought it looked really neat and it really popped off the page, so that's why I decided to do that. And now I'm going to reach into my thickers here. So I'm going to spell out the word calling with these beautiful thickers. These are the nice big tall ones that are from the Wonder collection. I have kind of been hoarding them and only using them on really special layouts, but I thought this one was worth it. And my title is just going to be Nature. Nature is Calling. I think that's what I call it. No, The Wild is Calling. I'm sorry. It's a nature layout, but I title it The Wild is Calling. It's early morning. I haven't had enough coffee today, and I like it. I like the difference of all the different patterns and stuff in this. I normally have a really hard time with these, and you'll find a lot of times when they're multiple patterns, I'll actually end up just painting them so that they're a solid pattern. I have a really hard time mixing them, but I was able to make it work with these. And then I'm going to use some skinnier letters and alphas to help spell out the rest of it. And I do have to fiddle with a couple letters to make it fit because I am running a little low here. And I like this. I like how it's piled on top of each other, but it fits. And I think it's very pretty, and and your eye goes to the title, but it also goes to the photo, which, you know, is something I'm all about. So everything just kind of worked. Not maybe like the best possible choices, but they went enough that in the end, when you look at it as a whole, it all just comes together. It was one of those strange layouts where you're like, this really shouldn't be working, but yet it does. So I love when that happens. Those are sometimes my favorite when that does happen, because you use more random pieces of your ephemera in your stash that way, which is neat. I really like that sort of thing. So let me just remind you, as you can see me laying down all these embellishments here, go check out all the other girls and their takes for this month. I know we're posting a little bit late. July has been a very crazy month. Most of us were participating in the video a day, and a lot of us went on vacation, and it was crazy. So make sure to go check out. So we're talking about Beth, Sarah from Sarah's Scraps, Christina from Redefine Creative, Megan, who's Crafty Maggie, and Hannah. So I'll leave the links to all of their channels so you can look at their awesome videos. This is a neat one. I really liked how we kind of came together with this Inspired by one. It's a little bit different. So you know how last month we were working with art, so we each kind of picked an art piece to go off of. This one, none of us really talked to each other about what was inspiring us or how we were going to go about it. So it's all kind of a mystery to us. So it'll be really neat to see everyone's layouts. And for me, I really just took my photo, that photo of my neighborhood. It's so peaceful and tranquil, and it brings peace to my heart when I look at it. And so that's really what wanted me to scrap it. And it was as wild as I get. I live in the city, like smack dab in the middle of a city, basically, so there's not a lot of nature around me. So this little piece of paradise, it's nice, and I enjoy being able to walk through that every day when we go for our walks, evening walks, though we haven't really been doing a ton of those lately because it has been hot and I don't do heat very well. So you can see I did my journaling beside that photo of my family, just talking about how we have been getting out and I love being out in nature. I'm gonna date stamp on this little thing here, and really guys, this is my layout. It's really simple, but I think that it makes a statement and it gets my point across, which sometimes that's all that matters. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Like I said, please don't forget to go check out everyone else, and we'll be back. And so we'll be back a lot sooner than normal because we'll have another episode for you later on this month. Bye everyone.